I'm John Davis, and this is Motor Week. Join us to see what the new Jeep Grand Cherokee L adds to an American legend. Pat reconnects with an old friend down at Goss's Garage. Greg Carlos goes over the edge with yet another extreme experience. Then we'll slow the pace and enjoy the luxury life in the latest Genesis G80. So come drive with us next.
Motor Week, television's original automotive magazine, brought to you by...
For more than 30 years, Lucas Oil Products has helped people tackle mechanical problems in the automotive, marine, and industrial fields. From our original 4 core products, heavy-duty oil stabilizer, power steering stop leak, transmission fix, and fuel treatment, Lucas Oil has developed over 400 custom products to help both professionals and do-it-yourselfers. To learn more, visit lucasoil.com. Lucas Oil. Keep that engine alive.
You're shopping for tires online and you have questions.
I do.
We're TireRack.com and we have answers and tools to help.
Like our tire decision guide. It's, take a look.
Oh. TireRack.com. Find, deliver, install.
Whether you consider it an everyman's Range Rover or the ultimate 4-season suburban family adventure cruiser, the Jeep Grand Cherokee has been many things to many people over the last 28 years. But with the arrival of the 5th generation, it offers something it never had before. When it comes to go anywhere or do anything vehicles off and on road, the Jeep Grand Cherokee is one of the first that comes to mind. But up until this point, Grand Cherokee adventures were limited to 5 passengers. For 2021, Jeep is set to grow Grand Cherokee appeal by growing its seating capacity with the 3-row Grand Cherokee L. And the additional row of seating is not just an afterthought or compromised into the existing architecture. There's an all-new uniframe structure here, providing ample space for adults in that 3rd row. Rear door openings are larger as well, providing easy access. Middle row passengers, whether they're riding in the standard buckets or the optional bench seat, have plenty of legroom too, and it's important to note that for those that don't need 6 or 7 passenger capacity, the traditional 5-seat Grand Cherokee will switch to this platform later this year as a 2022 model. So just how much bigger is it? Well, its 121.7-inch wheelbase is 7 inches longer than the current WK2 Grand Cherokee and about 2 inches longer than the Dodge Durango. All of this elegantly done around customary Jeep cues such as the 7-slot grille, trapezoidal wheel arches, and limited front and rear overhangs. And it certainly drives like a much larger vehicle. The independent front and rear suspension with available Quadra-Lift adaptive damping also feels much more softly sprung, giving it a tendency to roll enough in corners that it makes you very conscious of your speed. Standard engine is the familiar 3.6-liter Pentastar V6 with 293 horsepower and 260 pound-feet of torque. Adequate but not exciting. If you want a little more pep, or are looking to take advantage of the exceptional 7,200 pounds towing capacity, you'll need to upgrade to the 357 horsepower 5.7-liter V8. Both work with the same 8-speed automatic transmission. Rear-wheel drive is standard, but with 3 different 4-wheel drive systems available, as well as more ground clearance than before, the Grand Cherokee L offers off-road capability found in few other 3-row SUVs. With the same V6 engine and more vehicle to move than before, our on-pavement performance expectations were tempered heading to Mason-Dixon Dragway. And indeed, it was a leisurely trip to 60 of 9.4 seconds, about a second slower than last gen. The engine revs high and makes a lot of noise, but feels a little overmatched moving this big of a vehicle. The quarter-mile trip was a full 17.1 seconds at 82 miles per hour. More of the same softly sprung tuck and roll that we experienced on the street here in our handling course. But steering feel was better than past Jeeps, and the L certainly behaves appropriately for its size. Brakes were well above average, though, with strong and consistent stops of only 105 feet from 60 miles per hour. Regardless of trim, the Grand Cherokee L is a quite luxurious and inviting space to be in. And with the stretch, there's a lot more of it for cargo, too. Behind second row space climbs from 36.3 cubic feet to 46.9. And max grows from 68.3 to 84.6. There's even 17.2 cubic feet of space when the third row is up. Up front, a pair of 10-inch screens are standard. One in the center for reconnects 5 and one for the driver as a frameless digital gauge cluster. The wider center console is trimmed in piano black and houses a rotary shifter. Government fuel economy ratings for the V6 are 18 city, 25 highway, and 21 combined, but we average just 19.1 miles per gallon of regular. Still, that's only slightly worse than average for the energy impact score, consuming 15.7 barrels of oil yearly with 7.1 tons of CO2 emissions. There's a wide spread of Grand Cherokee L's to choose from, starting at the base Laredo for $38,690 with another $2,000 for four-wheel drive, and stretching all the way to top Summit Reserve trim beginning at a healthy $63,690. When you have something great, you want to share it with as many people as possible. The 2021 Jeep Grand Cherokee L now provides seating for up to 7, which means growing Jeep families no longer have to look elsewhere for comfortable 3-row capability. And Jeep is doubling their efforts, as in addition to this Grand Cherokee L is an all-new full-size Wagoneer on which we'll have a full road test soon. So plenty of really big new Jeeps headed our way, with plenty of room to bring more friends along for the adventure. Speed provides the kinds of sensations that words fail to describe. You have to experience it to get it. And this week, Greg Carlos takes us over the edge with some car nuts that satisfy your need for speed.
Blasting down a front straight at wide open throttle in an exotic car is the thrill of a lifetime. Trust me, I've done it. And guess what? So can you. And I'm here with some folks who have built their name on giving that extreme experience.
In fact, it is their name. Since 2012, Extreme Experience has been hosting track days and checking off bucket list items for over 250,000 speed seekers.
Extreme Experience got started in a very sort of rock and roll pirate way with our founders. They saw an empty spot in the market where there was not a lot of auto entertainment available to the everyday guy. And so they grabbed up a couple of cars, rented some time on the local racetrack, and gave it a shot.
A decade later, Extreme Experience holds dozens of events per year at racetracks all over the country, including our own Dominion Raceway outside of Richmond, Virginia. It all starts online with a simple booking process to choose where, when, and most importantly, what to drive.
American muscle, German precision, or Italian style. Extreme Experience has whatever revs your engine. And if you can't choose just one, drive the whole fleet.
We're running the new C8, the Huracan Evo, the McLaren 570S. We've got the Ferrari 488. We just got in our GT3 RS.
Pricing varies for each car, from $200 to $430 for a 3 to 4 lap session. An insurance package is required, but base coverage adds just $39 to the total cost. Then when the day comes, all guests have to do is show up and follow the signs.
We get them everything they need to get ready. They get their USB for the video, they get it all sorted out, boom, quick, easy, waivers, everything. Then they head to class, and safety is our #1 thing. So the classroom is really where you learn a lot about how to get these cars around the track.
The class is quick yet comprehensive, but those looking for a little more instruction can opt for a ride-along with a pro driver. After that, find your car where an instructor will get you strapped in before taking their place in the passenger seat, where they'll talk you through the car and the track.
You got to figure that most people have never been on a racetrack. Most people have never driven in a car like this. Those instructors in the right seat have got to have a calm demeanor.
Wait, off the brakes, let's time this right so we don't catch that guy in the middle of the S's, so lift off the gas a little.
What I liked is that the trainer they put me with, the other driver, helped me to drive fast safely. So every time I took a lap, he was telling me, accelerate a little bit more in this turn a little bit earlier. So by the end of the day, I was way faster than I was early on.
I drove the Lamborghini Huracan Evo, the Porsche GT3 RS, and the Ferrari 488. It was awesome. I've grown up just loving cars and watching videos of them all the time, but actually getting behind the wheel was insane.
If you're into cars at all, this is the best way to figure out why we do this and why people spend so much effort, time, and energy into these kinds of cars instead of, your basic commuters. This is a very special, unique thing, and we have taken every single precaution to make sure that you have the best possible time that you can in the safest possible way.
This week at Goss's Garage, Pat meets up with an old friend, one that you just might remember too.
Well, now that we've seen our Maxton and we understand that it's been sitting for the last 20, 25 years and with no use and no preparation before it was put in storage, well, we need to evaluate it. So far, what we've done is we've looked at the fuel lines and things like that. If you look at the fuel, we ran this coat hanger down into one of the fuel lines and come out with this thick sludge. That's what happens to fuel after it sits. We can actually see it in this fuel line. You see it just kind of strings out of there. No gasoline left. So we replaced the fuel line, got the car running. So it runs, but not well. It probably needs carburetor work. In addition, in order to move it, the brakes had seized up, so we had to take the pads out of the rear brakes. And now we have to find out all that's wrong back there. The clutch, well, the clutch, you can't push the pedal. So that means in most cases that the clutch disc has welded itself to the flywheel or the pressure plate, so, and probably both in this case. So we have to find a way to fix that. Now, in addition to that, we took the air cleaner housing apart, and this is what we found. The air cleaner had turned to this yucky looking mess here. And we also have a situation with, there's a rag that's tied around a line up in the front at the oil cooler. Well, it appears that the oil cooler is leaking significantly, so we're going to have to fix that. And once we get all done with it, we'll get our Maxton back on the road. And if you have a question or a comment, drop me a line right here at Motor Week.
Time for us to take another really quick spin.
One of the most phenomenal things about the Porsche 911 GT3 is that despite the mind-blowing performance, it can easily be used as a daily driver. And for those that do just that, Porsche is now offering a 2022 911 GT3 with Touring Package. The Touring Package first became available with last generation's GT3, only now a 7-speed PDK is available to replace the standard 6-speed manual, whereas it's the PDK that's standard in the regular GT3. Most notably, the Touring Package eliminates the GT3's large fixed wing, replacing it with a self-deploying rear spoiler. Finer details include silver trim, full body color front fascia, and unique grille work. Inside, the optional leather is nicer looking and more comprehensive, plus dark brushed aluminum trim and more customization options than in the standard GT3. Most importantly, everything below deck and under the rear hatch remains the same, which means a track-worthy suspension setup and 502 screaming horsepower from the naturally aspirated 4-liter flat 6.
Being the fly beneath the radar, unassuming type myself, I can appreciate the vibe of this GT3 with touring package. With my current tax bracket situation, probably not in the cards for me anytime soon, but I am in Southern California right now, driving the heck out of this one, and can report to you that it is indeed a magical machine. Loads of grip, lots of front end feel, capabilities far above my abilities, all with a personality that makes you want to never stop driving it.
Same price no matter which GT3 you choose, starting around $161,000. Order yours now and Porsche will build it for you in the coming months. We'll have more on the 2022 Porsche 911 GT3 with touring package soon, so keep it locked right here on Motor Week.
Time to say goodbye to our 2021 Kia Seltos long-term. Part of a rapidly expanding small crossover segment, the Seltos stands out both with style and substance. Not everyone was enamored with the star-bright yellow paint job, but this smooth-bodied utility is more rugged-looking than soft. SX trim adds some sportiness with 18-inch alloys, full LED lighting, and some tasteful splashes of chrome. It also comes with an engine upgrade, a 175 horsepower, 1.6-liter Turbo 4, which we found to be more than adequate. Frugal too, delivering a quite good 28.9 miles per gallon average over 13,483 hard miles. The interior also held up quite well through a year's worth of abuse, and the only services required were scheduled maintenance and a tire repair. We still have quite a few months left to spend time behind the wheel of this 2021 Acura TLX, and that's a good thing. Our A-Specs lower stance, slim headlights, 19-inch shark gray wheels, and black deck lid spoiler all help the TLX turn some heads. But of course, it's the driving that matters most to us. When it comes to driving, this TLX is pretty versatile because of the way Acura has programmed its drive modes, or as they call them, dynamic modes. There's actually quite a bit of difference between each one. The softer suspension setting for comfort mode is ideal for the highway, while the firmer setup mixed with the sharpened throttle response is perfect for when the roads get twisty. And as we head into prime leaf peeping season here in the Mid-Atlantic, we're 8 months and 16,000 miles into our test. We love the overall solid feel of the car, and the 280 horsepower 2-liter Turbo 4 delivers exceptional power with a decent 24.9 miles per gallon average as well. We'll check in on our all-electric Porsche Taycan on the next Motor Week long-term road test update.
The Genesis of Genesis was not a brand, but as Hyundai's first attempt at going up market with 2009's Hyundai Genesis. Well, now Genesis is of course a complete brand with multiple sedans and SUVs to choose from and plenty of EVs on the way. But they haven't forgotten where they started from. Before it was known as the Genesis G80, the Hyundai Genesis sedan was the Korean car maker's first attempt at going full luxury. 2021 brings a new generation of G80, as they, like most brands, prepare to transition away from fossil fuels in the near future, yet also have the challenge of trying to fully establish what is still a sophomore brand when it comes to the luxury market. While we can all appreciate a good value when it comes to major purchases, not a lot of buyers in this segment want to drive around in something that looks like a bargain. Here, the midsize G80 mostly succeeds with an elegant new shape, highlighted by a minimized parallel quad lighting theme, exaggerated fenders, and a coupe-like cabin pushed severely rearward. though the gigantic familiar silver grille is one of our least favorite visual cues. Inside is truly a showcase of what Hyundai is capable of. Materials, switchgear, displays all exude great quality. The layout is simple, with minimal controls and a wide 14.5-inch high-def touchscreen display on top of the dash. It comes with a Genesis integrated controller that recognizes handwriting for destinations and phone number inputs. And that's just the tip of the tech iceberg. With 21-speaker Lexicon audio, real wood trim, a 12-inch digital gauge cluster, and even remote smart parking assistant all available. Whether you stick with standard leatherette or opt for the real thing, front seats are wide and supremely comfortable, with a massaging function optional. Rear seats are equally luxurious, and thanks to a longer wheelbase than most of its European rivals, legroom is more than generous. Though it does come at a price, as trunk space is considerably less than before, down from 15.3 to a compact car-like 13.1 cubic feet. Smooth and refined power is a must in this segment, and Genesis offers a choice of turbo power plants that differ from the German's basic 2 and 3 liter setups. Standard is this 2.5-liter turbo i4 with 300 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque. The upgrade is a 375 horsepower 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6. With either engine comes an 8-speed automatic transmission, channeling power to the rear wheels or optionally to all four. It didn't feel like our 2.5T was launching all that hard, but it's certainly not a slacker, as we hit 60 in just 5.3 seconds. It's a serene and tranquil trip to the end of the quarter mile in 14 seconds at 101 miles per hour. Power is smooth and shifts are mostly imperceptible. It's everything you want in a luxury vehicle, with just enough exhaust note to give you some sense that you're rapidly accelerating. As equipped, this 2.5T is right around 4,000 pounds, and for the most part, it handles that bulk quite well. Not quite to the point of being nimble, but it's reasonably responsive to inputs, surprisingly proficient, and deceptively quick. There was quite a bit of body roll, which is to be expected in a car that makes no claims of being a sports car, but no understeer to hinder the process. 13-inch brake discs are standard on the 2.5T, and they're quite effective, as 111 feet was all that was needed to bring the G80 to a smooth and stable halt from 60 miles per hour. There was quite a bit of nosedive, but better pedal feel than most in the segment. The G80's M3 chassis was designed with SUVs in mind, also underpinning their GV80 utility, so naturally it provides a very solid and stable platform for this sedan. The structure itself is also 55 pounds lighter than the previous G80. The multi-link suspension is tuned plush, yet not soft. It combines with the bank vault levels of solitude to deliver an almost Bentley-esque driving experience. Government fuel economy ratings for a rear-wheel drive 2.5T are 23 city, 32 highway, and 26 combined. That's an average energy impact score with consumption of 12.7 barrels of oil yearly and emissions of 5.7 tons of CO2. With a starting price of just $48,745, nothing else comes close to matching the G80's value in the midsize luxury sedan segment. And while that's a great value proposition, it can also be a stigma that Genesis must overcome if they want to sway buyers from well-established luxury brands. The appeal has to be on merit rather than price. To that, we think the 2021 Genesis G80 is indeed extremely appealing and a giant step towards becoming a full member of the club.
Well, that's our show. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, for more Motor Week, including daily news updates, podcasts, and even complete episodes, cruise on over to pbs.org/motorweek. And I hope you'll join us next time for a dynamic road test of Jaguar's XF sedan. Then we'll get frugal and functional in Hyundai Santa Fe hybrid utility. Pat Goss looks at the fine points of RV wiring.
while Stephanie Hart finds a new club to hang out with in LA. Plus more quick spins and all the latest motor news. Till then, I'm John Davis. We'll see you right here on Motor Week.
To learn more about Motor Week, television's original automotive magazine, visit pbs.org/motorweek. To order a DVD of this program, call 1-800-873-6154. Motor Week has been brought to you by...
For more than 30 years, Lucas Oil Products has helped people tackle mechanical problems in the automotive, marine, and industrial fields. From our original 4-core products, heavy-duty oil stabilizer, power steering stop leak, transmission fix, and fuel treatment, Lucas Oil has developed over 400 custom products to help both professionals and do-it-yourselfers. To learn more, visit lucasoil.com. Lucas Oil. Keep that engine alive.
You're shopping for tires online and you have questions.
I do.
We're TireRack.com and we have answers and tools to help.
Like our tire decision guide. It's, take a look.
TireRack.com. Find, deliver, install.
This program was produced by Maryland Public Television, which is solely responsible for its content.
You're watching PBS.